Ara was going through a divorce when she met Lucas. Her ex-husband, Samuel, left her for a younger co-worker. Their daughter, Ella, chose to stay with her mum. In the midst of the divorce proceedings, Ara met Lucas by chance at a coffee shop. She was sitting with a stack of papers related to obtaining a dissolution of marriage certificate. Lucas struck up a conversation and offered to get to know her. Exhausted by recent events, Ara couldn't refuse his friendly gesture. Lucas turned out to be a pleasant and fun guy. When it was time to part ways, Ara mustered up the courage to ask him for his phone number. She immediately shared the news with her friend, who did not approve of her act. The friend voiced concerns that Lucas might turn out to be a stranger, or worse, a maniac. Ara replied that all men are strangers, but life must go on, and she didn't want to be alone. Ara and Lucas began dating. He asked her out on dates, always brought her flowers, and courted her lavishly. One day, Lucas surprised her by inviting her on an all-expense-paid trip to the sea. All she had to do was ask for time off work and agree to go. She enjoyed Lucas's attention and appreciated his care, as her previous husband had been rather stingy in this regard. While on vacation at the sea, Lucas proposed to her as they sat on the beach together, watching the sunset and enjoying a glass of chilled wine. Lucas gave Ara a small box with the words, "Ara, I want to spend the rest of my life watching sunsets with you." Touched by his sincere gesture, she cried and accepted his offer. Wasting no time, they started preparing for the wedding as soon as they got home. A friend to whom Ara had previously told about Lucas inquired about how it had gone. Lucas informed Ara that he had saved up enough money for the wedding and that he would allow them to have a lavish celebration. Ara couldn't believe her happiness. Her first wedding had been simple, even without a white dress, because she and Samuel had gotten married right out of college when they were poor but deeply in love. Sometimes she even cried with happiness, realizing that everything that was happening now was happening for her. Everything was falling into place. Ara's friend Stella brought up the subject of children. "Have you talked about having more children?" she asked. Ara calmly replied, "We decided that Ella was enough for us." Her friend asked further, "Doesn't Lucas want to have a child of his own? After all, Ella has someone else's blood." This infuriated Ara. Lucas had never treated Ella differently. He had always been a loving father to her, taking her to coffee shops, ice cream shops, and movies, picking her up from school and taking her to activities. They had come to the conclusion that they only wanted one child. When Ella got older, they planned to go travelling, and having a young child would make that difficult. Plus, Ara was already 35 years old and didn't want to go through the hassle of pregnancy and infancy again. The wedding was a grand success. There were many guests, the tables were filled with delicious food, and champagne flowed. The next morning, Lucas was preparing breakfast. Ara woke up, walked into the kitchen, and lovingly hugged her husband from behind. Lucas smiled and asked, "How was your first night as my wife?" Ara laughed and replied, "Well, I was expecting some kind of miraculous transformation, but everything stayed the same." As the years passed, Ara and Lucas continued to have a strong relationship. Their family was filled with love and warmth. During dinner, Lucas turned to his wife and said, "Honey, come with me to visit my parents. They need our help." Lucas's parents lived in a small village 30 kilometers from the city. As a loving son, he often visited them, either for a vacation or at his mother's request. Ara gladly accompanied him on these trips, enjoying their conversations along the way. One morning, after a hearty breakfast, they set off, leaving their daughter with Ara's mother. Along the way, Despite the rainy weather, the highway was clear, allowing Lucas a quick drive to his parents' home. During the ride, the couple talked about what they had been up to lately. Ara talked about her new job, which she had started 4 months ago, and shared anecdotes about co-workers and bosses. Just as she mentioned the new project they were working on, an unforeseen event occurred. Her husband lost control of the car, causing it to flip over and fall into a ditch, and Ara, hitting her head during the accident, lost consciousness. Realizing the seriousness of the situation, Lucas, suffering from an apparent chest fracture and nosebleed, attempted to call for an ambulance but noticed people rushing towards them from the side of the road. Confident that help was arriving, the couple waited for it.